Just came out from the pharmacy. It is so crowded there. I'm just like, geez, you know. I gotta come early. Today was just not a good day either. You know what? I should have. Oh yeah, I couldn't come last night anyway because I went to the I had somewhere else to go. But I gotta come back. I guess I know tomorrow I may come down here early and get my medication. But it's always crowded in there now. It's like, you know, I'm just like, geez, it never used to be so crowded, you know. But it is so crowded in there. And you know, my son gets out of school at 2:37 today, so you know, I didn't want to stay there because it looked like it was going to be like a half an hour before that line even moved. Before I get to the counter. So I'll get it tomorrow. I'll pick it up tomorrow. You know, so yeah, they'll hold the medicine for at least, I think, either 5 or 7 days, 5 to 7, something like that. 5 days, I think. So yeah. Yep, I'll get it tomorrow. Anyhow, so as I was going into the pharmacy, right, the Walgreens, you know, they always got to do things to try to deter you from going, you know, which again, it doesn't work. It doesn't really work. I don't, you know, when it comes to my medication, I don't really, you know, I mean, I have plenty of medication, but this is my sleep aid. I should say my sleep medication, and I need to, you know, probably about the next month or two, get a prescription for my headache medicine. But you know, so I'm taking this period as a de-cleansing, you know. The only medication that I take frequently now is my muscle relaxers. I've always been taking them frequently. You know, I used to take them every day. Now I don't. You know, now I take them because I take other natural supplements, sea moss, moringa, which helps with inflammation. And when it gets really bad, and my back is pretty bad, I'll go to the muscle relaxer. You know, which I would say probably about, you know, 3 times a week now. Okay, so yeah. You know, I mean, listen, I know I'm a good-looking guy, but damn, let's do it in there, you know, was it silver paw or gray paw, have you? Like staring me down. Like, dude, I ain't gay. Okay, I keep telling you guys that I'm not gay. All right, let's see, what's his license plate number? KYL 2350. Right? Yeah. Like, I'm not gay, man. They just be staring me down, man. Yeah. Anyhow, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. You know. But I was having issues with my internet earlier. Actually, last night. You know, I didn't know what was happening. And when I'm back, how come all of a sudden I'm having issues now? You know. So I finally I swapped the graphics card out of my home theater PC for another one that I had there. Because I wanted to put the one that I took out into that. I put it into that build I was doing for this guy, and you know, all of a sudden my internet started cutting out, and I'm just like, well, here we go again. Mess with my damn internet again. You know, so you know they do that to see if I can figure stuff out, right? Or to see how quick I can figure stuff out. You know. So I was just like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to bed. And this was like around minutes to 3 in the morning. Okay, yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm going to bed. Because that's what they do. They know you're tired. They know you are tired. NYPD rolled by. This gray car just made the U-turn. Right? Synchronization. You have credit the department. Even if I'm not sure if that's the traffic division or not, but it doesn't matter. Right? But it's those synchronized movement, you know. And then one of his side mirror was painted purple. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, you know. So I was like, you know, and again, we're always using the police sirens. You know, like whenever I lean back to them, because I can't really, you know, I'm sitting on my ottoman, and my ottoman is pretty, the kid's done destroyed, so it's already, the top of it is really hard to sit on, so I have to lean back. But every time I pick myself up to lean forward, they will use the police sirens. And you know, of course, I don't really, I have to turn to the side when I'm doing that, because again, it hurts my back. And it's something that can be pretty painful. So, you know, I've learned how to move my body, how to turn my body a certain way. And so every time I bend down or I bend over, you know, they would use the police sirens. But of course, I'm holding on to something. You know, like you never see me bend forward, bend over, I should say, without holding on to something. I'm not that foolish because I know what will happen. So, you know. And then sometimes they do the siren so much that you get into this mindset that, okay, I'm going to bend forward to see what the hell y'all going to do. I don't do that. Because I know that's exactly what they want. This is how they create these kind of adversarial personality types. And sometimes you find yourself wanting to do things that could, you know, have detrimental effect on you, right? Just because you're trying to prove them wrong or what have you, trying to see what they're going to do. Does it? You know, again, you can't help it at first because you don't know. You know, and they know this. They know this. Remember, their whole program is based off of lies and deception. Okay, manipulation. So, you know, you gotta understand that. And you know, if they condition your mindset to have a very, you know, what they may label you as a violent personality or what have you, they don't talk about what they've done to you psychologically, right? Because again, they can always deny it. They can always put the blame on you, right, and say it's you, right? So that's why I say this is what's my purpose, to expose these things, to make people understand what's going on. So when you see people engaging in certain types of behavior, you have to start asking questions, right? You have to start asking questions, and you have to you have to understand what's being done, you know, and how it's being done. And I give two examples, right? One with me and the other one with, actually I'm gonna give three examples. One with me, one with my brother, one with another TI. So earlier in my targeting, I was being mobbed at my job, what's called workplace mobbing. And it got to the point where I got, you know, getting so angry. And at the time, they were monitoring my emotions and my thoughts, right? And so all of a sudden, look at this dude. Come on, man. Look at this shit. You park right in the damn bus stop. And all this exhaust, like, you know, you're breathing all this exhaust shit, right? You got to move. Got to move back. Start smelling that shit. Right? And what's his license plate? W35NYD. There's plenty of parking now. There's plenty of parking on the next block up there. He parks right in the bus stop. Right where I'm standing to. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, let me get back to what I was saying. So, you know, at the time they were sending me all these subliminal messages about going postal, right? You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh yeah, you should go postal, you know, and I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't think so. You know? And at that time, I'm still trying to figure shit out, like what's going on. So I'm walking home one night. The streets are empty. And it wasn't late. It was not late. I think I had left. I was working at the time. I left my job right around, was it 9:30 or so? So by the time I got home, it was like probably minutes to 11. And again, it's not that late, and there's always people on the street. You know, I mean, I live in Brooklyn, okay? There's always people on the street, no matter what time it is, right? Particularly, you know, these perps, they're always there, right? But this night in particular, there was no one on the street. No one on the street. So I turn onto my block, and then I'm walking by, and this person that I knew from high school, we used to hang out a lot when we were younger. You know, haven't really spoken to him in like, you know, over since I left high school, go to college. You know, he tried to deter me from going to college. And he's like, why are you going to college? Why, you know? I'm like, so when I realized that this person, you know, at the age that I was at, I was like 19. This person there don't really, you know, it's not my friend. It's really not my friend. If he's going to try to deter me from going to college, right? And so I haven't really spoken to him since that. And that was since, what, 1990? Right? 1990, right? As I tell you how long ago that was, okay? And so anyhow, so he opens up his car, the door. He was sitting in his car, opens his car door, and he calls me. And at the time, I didn't think about anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But when I look back at it, I was like, yeah, you know, motherfucker trying to create some type of lone wolf. But anyhow, so he calls me over, right? And he's like, yeah, I want to show you something. I'm just like, really? I haven't, no. And again, at the time, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not saying this in my mind. I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in well over a decade. How are you just going to just pop up and say you want to show me something? You know, so he opens up the trunk of his car, takes out a box, and it was a gun in there. He's like, oh, check this out. It's brand new, you know, it's crisp. It's brand new. It got full clip and everything. And I'm like, that's nice. And I was like, listen, take care. And I walked off. Okay? Right? Now, fast forward a few years later, my brother goes into the hospital. Right? He wasn't feeling well. All of a sudden, you feel like you have to go use the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. No one in the bathroom now. He's just sitting there. And on the sink, on the sink, there were two full clips of 9mm bullets, right? And he's like, oh, no wonder this is why they sent me in here. You know, he's like, I really didn't have to go to the bathroom, but, you know, I had the urge, right? And again, I talked about this when I was pick up my sons, to give my kids when they were younger. She's like, I want to go to the bathroom. Particularly my younger son, I used to drive to pick him up and drive back. There's always one particular part of the highway we would pass. I gotta go to the bathroom. There's that McDonald's right there, and I go there. There'll be these perps standing outside, you know, tapping their nose, get into the bathroom. He didn't want to pee. He didn't want to pee at all, you know. So he got to that point. At one time, I made him stay there. We waited for like half an hour until he eventually had to pee. Right? Because I'm like, I'm not going through this again. Okay. So I know that feeling when you have that urge. And I talk about this, how they will program me to get up on a weekend. I didn't have myself to go all the way in Manhattan, in the city, so that I could be targeted, right? Because there's a specific destination that I will always go to, and I realized I was being programmed. I had been programmed to go there, so that, you know, they could see if the programming works, right? Then another TI, you know, who he was walking. I told him about that. I said, listen, man. You know, they will do shit like bump into you, and I'm sorry. I said, but it's not a coincidence, because it'll keep happening, right? Sometimes multiple times a day. So one day he said he was in the city, and this dude walked past him and like really bumped into him really hard. So he squared up, you know, and him and the dude started fighting, and he ended up knocking the dude out. And he was like, yo, right around the corner, and there were police waiting right there. I was like, yeah, of course. It's a setup. It's a setup. They know. By them psychologically manipulating you and manipulating your emotions, that there's a great chance that you will engage in, you know, the fight or flight phenomenon. You decided to, you know, and I said, I'm not going to blame you, because again, it's what's being done to you. And at that moment, you know, there's nothing you could have done. They already knew the outcome. Okay? So, you know, and I told him, I said, listen, I will go to court with you, and I will explain what is being done to you. Right? And he said, guess what? He said, he's like, when you told me that, he's like, I went to my lawyer and I told him that, and he said, you know what? The next time he went to court, they dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning that he can never bring that case back. They can never bring that case back up again. Okay? And they've done it. They've done this a lot to other TIs too. You know, that they all dismiss their case with prejudice so that they can never bring it back into into the court proceeding. Because that's how they get away with it. They don't want to have a record of precedent set forth for what it is that they do. Right? So yeah. You know, but that's how they do this shit. You know, and like I said, they're pretty fortunate. You know, there are other people that have not been so fortunate.
Make other people business
because you know what they've done to them and how they lashed out. You know, and again, these people they operate in secrecy. They operate using psychological coercive persuasion programs, psychological conditioning, and emotional manipulation. All right. Drugs also plays a big part of it to soften up your mind. You know, to get you hooked on hard drugs also. You know? So I was talking about in the past, and I was working and hanging out with this dude one night. And the dude offered me cocaine. I'm like, yo, you don't know me like that. How you could just go to offer me shit like that? You don't know me like that, you know? You know what I'm saying? And again, to me, at the time I knew I was targeted, right? I knew I was targeted. So it seemed so planned. It seemed so planned. Okay? It seems so planned. So people walk by me, and she looks at my head, and then she looks in the direction of the fan. And then this now, when she did that, he turns around and put his thumb on his back, right? So, yeah. So I can tell you, that's the way they send me subliminal messages about my disability for my back. Okay, why? There's a reason why the bus takes so long to come, because I have my bag on my back. So they'll time the shit, right? They're like, okay, well, if he's standing there for 10 minutes and he have his bag on his back, and you know his bag weighs a certain amount, like how the fuck you know what my bag is? He only started doing that shit when that woman walked by and looked at my hat, right? Then look at this one. Okay. Anyhow, but yeah, this is what they do. They'll say, well, okay, well whatever, you know. Because there are days when my back feel a lot better, and there are days when my back feel worse. There are days when, you know, I can barely stand up. There are days when I have to lay in bed all day. But there's always this idea they try to put into your mind. And I don't worry about it. I'm like, whatever they do, they'll do it. I'm not worried about it. You know? I'm saying I got my medical records. And that's all that matters. So they can do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say. I got my medical records. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow. The dude walking with the cane, like he got a bag in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's to tell you, that's the foolishness that they do. And I gotta laugh at this shit because they're hilarious. Okay? And sometimes it will affect you. That's okay. You just gotta understand that. Sometimes it will affect you. You know, this is being done to you every single day. But as long as you remain grounded, you know, meaning that, like I said, that you attack them the way they attack you. So if they attack you psychologically, you attack them psychologically. If they're doing it physically, you have a right to defend yourself physically. Oh, they're sending out the traffic division today now, right? So the regular NYPD vehicles, where are they? So they're sending out the traffic. You know what I'm saying? They're always they'll always do things to manipulate you in certain ways, right? And again, when they can't use the regular predator vehicles, right? The predator vehicles, they will use the predator traffic vehicles, right? When they can't use the fire trucks or the ambulance, all they will do, they will send people who are smoking cigarettes, and as soon as they get close to you, they will light up the cigarette so you can see the, you know, the light. That's there. They're very, very slick when they do these things, right? Look at the ambulance. Very, very, very slick. Right? They're very, very slick, man. that. So see all the hand shit that he was doing. Anyhow, see, must take a long time to come. Like I said, they'll hold up the bus just because, again, they are trying to constantly test you and measure. Oh, well, he's had such and such pounds on his back, what have you, so his back is not really this and that and all this shit. That's what they do. That's what they do. They forever doing that. And I usually take off my bag and my back and start hurting me. So, and then sometimes when they target you like that so much, sometimes you unconsciously will do it, because again, that's to show you that, they're still effective. But to me, that's nothing. Right? To me, that is nothing. Like I said, you gotta understand that what they do is going to affect you. But it's how much is it going to affect you, and how you can lessen the effect of what it is that they do by studying what they do, understanding what they do, and doing it back to them also. Doesn't mean that you're guilty of whatever it is that they try to do to you. It just means that you start to begin to recognize a pattern of harassment that's being done, right? So there you go. All right, talk to you guys in the next video.